Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marcello Kearns Rain back up in this. So this video basically is going to be about cops and cops right here in New York because see, you know, you have people out here protesting about what cops are doing to, uh, particularly black people, shooting them or whatever, but they never really take true protest notice, if you will, or protest as a notice to America what they're doing to the children. Um, I made videos in the past, but some people don't actually stroll down and actually sift through the videos and things like that. So sometimes in my videos, you may see like I do videos like twice or even three times on a certain subject. So I just felt compelled today to start off with NYPD and what they did to uh, a 15-year-old girl. So, so the officer is named Officer Sanad Masalam. He's one of the officers. And the second one is Officer Yazer Shahati. So the teen was troubled. The girl was troubled and unhealthy. Right. The mother gave Officer Sanad Masalam the girl's phone number. So the officer had the girl's phone number from the mother, 15 years old. So she trusted the cops right here in New York, NYPD, New York City. Officer San- Officer Sanad suggested that the 15-year-old girl join a youth program of New York Police Department called Explorers. So he suggested that whatever she was going through, that she joined some youth program of the New York Police Department. So he got her in a youth program for 14 to 20-year-olds. The kid told her mom that her and the two officers had been sending hundreds of text messages. So she told her mom. Masalam asked her to send revealing pics. Masalam had her perform a sex act with her hand in his cop car. So the girl joined the program called Explorers, part of the New York Police Department here in New York City, and he got a hand job from the girl in the cop car. And it gets worse. Two cops on one girl. 4 or 5 times, the girl said the other cop, not Masalam, Shohati, had her visit his apartment alone in the middle of the night. So you know what they did. In the middle of the night, 4 or 5 times. The first cop got a hand job in his cop car. The car he's serving you with. The second cop, the same girl, got 4 or 5 times visited the apartment alone in the middle of the night of Shahadi, Officer Shahadi. Okay, after her daughter told her what happened, the mother filed a complaint with Internal Affairs. Both officers were placed on modified duty in June 2018. So this is only 4 years ago, while the New York PD investigated. Okay. Now, I'm gonna read what else happened. Let's see. Yeah, because see, I told you I do nothing but the facts here. There's not gonna be speculation, and so I was trying to look up how it ended. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. Well, it ended. Let me see. Okay, here it is. So, the New York PD Assistant Deputy Commissioner determined this past month that both officers had raped the girl when she was 15 and incapable of consenting to sex. So they determined it. The NYPD Assistant Deputy Commissioner determined this past March that both officers had raped the girl when she was 15 and incapable of consenting to sex. That's right here in New York, guys. That's right here in New York. The officers denied the allegations. The NYPD fired the officers. Neither officers were criminally charged. That's what I wanted to get to. None of them were criminally charged. The girl was determined to have been raped in March 2021. So last year they just determined that she was raped. So this information became public at that time, and there was no protest from New York concerning the officers being criminally charged. So no one said anything. This information came out last year. That's why I know. So New York didn't protest. New York didn't protest for them to be criminally charged. They were only fired. They didn't get charged. They were only fired for getting a hand job in a cop car, for inviting a girl 15 years old a part of their program in the NYPD police station, whatever precinct that was at. She was a part of the program in the belly of the beast. In the belly of the beast. And they took advantage of her, had her in the middle of the night coming to their apartment. And one of them was getting a hand job in the cop car. Okay, I got one more. Now, see, these are the people these are the people who ride around trying to investigate you. These are the people that ride around trying to investigate you and everything. I don't respect them. I don't respect them. I use them for what I need them for. That's all I do. But I don't respect them. You know what I'm saying? I utilize them as I need them. You know, that's about it. So the other cop, this third cop is going to be still here in New York. Michael Castro, the New York homeless cop, New York Homeless Department cop. A Department of Homeless Services police officer was busted for sexting, meaning texting sexual content, with a 14-year-old girl in a civilian sting operation exposing Big Apple pedophiles on YouTube. So the officer texted, "Hi, Julie, want to trade selfies?" He texted her, "I'd love to see you naked." Now, she's 14 years old. This man works trying to help homeless people, right? You would think he would have no mentality. Now, you could look him up. Michael Castro. Michael Castro, a New York homeless cop. New York homeless, a cop of the New York Department of Homeless Services. So look him up. He's in the Department of Homeless Services, Michael Castro, and yeah, right here in New York. Right here in New York. The other two cops, I'm gonna tell you their names again so you can Google it and look it up. Officer Sanad Masalam. Sanad Masalam. That's SANAD. First name, last name MUSALLAM. The second officer is Yaser, YASER, Shahoti, SHOHATEE. So I'm gonna say his name again. Yaser, YASER, first name, last name SHOHATEE. Hatee. Okay, and it's just a testament of showing you how where this American mentality and how deep it runs as far as pedophilia. You know, it's not the guy that you think is down the street; it's the cops. I'm showing you right here. It's not some guy you think that is disconnected from the community. It's the cops that's connected to the community. That's who's doing it. I don't have no respect for them. See, what is going to happen is all these all these happenings is going to cause intelligent people to not submit to police, the government, or the community. We're not. I don't see no need to submit to the community either, because they're ignorant of the laws that are in their own country. They're not going after the people that are that are in authority that's doing it. They're not going after the police. They're not going after the government. They're not going after anybody. But what they want to do in the community is choose convenient enemies or people they perceive to be as sex predators or weird or strange. But I'm showing you the laws. 44 states marrying children. They're not going after that. So they're cowards. They're really cowards to me. They're cowards to me. So I don't submit to them or their ideals or anything. You know, so you see right there on paper, two cops that that basically raped was having sex with the same girl, doing sex acts with the same girl. She was nothing but 15. The age of consent here in New York City is 17. And I don't agree with that, because I feel like that's a legal child. But that wasn't good enough for them. They had to dip below 17 right here in New York. And my whole thing is, when people say, when did it happen? It doesn't matter. They trying to dig up stuff on other people. They go back 10 and 20, 30 years on stuff they think you did. If it's under a decade, it's fresh. Yeah, they'll go back 10, 30, 20, 50 years on what you did. Call it a cold case. Well, we calling this a cold case because ain't nobody say nothing about it. Ain't nobody protest about it. And it's less than 10 years ago, New York NYPD cops grouped up on one girl that was in a program in their police station. I can't make this up. She was in a program in their police station. They got a hand job. One of them got a hand job in the cop car. The second one used the girl to come to his house 4 or 5 times. Ain't no telling what happened. We don't know. We'll never know. I didn't see it in the article, so I guess the girl might have been too embarrassed or something, maybe. Who knows? All I know is something sexual happened. And I'm pretty sure she had sex. She did something. 4 or 5 times, pretty sure. So that's why anarchy is on the horizon, because it's no way that people can still bring themselves to submit to police that do things like this, and they didn't get any charges. They just got fired. They just got fired while they're locking other people up for doing the same thing. They just got fired, and they're investigating other people. And that's why I can't stand the cops. I just don't. I don't like them. I think they're the worst of hypocrites. Because you're in a position. We're not. You went through all kind of training about protecting children, all kind of training about protecting civilians. You know how much hours and hours and hours of work training they had to go through? They didn't just get the job. The cop didn't just get the job. He had to go through training of what to do in certain situations, that kind of thing. With children, I'm sure he went through a million children scenarios of protecting children, training him how to protect the children. They overrode all that training. These two officers, I'm gonna keep talking about them. They keep talking about stuff that they think other people did 20, 30 years ago. So I got at least about 5 more years to talk about this, don't I? At least about 5 more years. And they overrode all that training that they learned from their police department, their police precinct, and got a hand job in the car. One of them did, and the other one took the girl to his apartment, his house now, with cameras and everything. I'm pretty sure there was some cameras of her coming in. Well, he's a cop. He probably snooped her around the cameras. And and here's the punchline. All these so-called vigilantes and all these people that so-called trying to bring sex predators to justice, where were you? Where were you? Nowhere. This information came out last year, March of last year. There was an article. That's how I got it. And I see no protest in your city, in New York. The community is hypocrites. All these people that do neighborhood watch and all of that, why you didn't do a protest? Why you didn't put out bulletins? You could have put out a little bulletin and let people know what happened or whatever. They're lazy about it. That's why I don't let people like that intimidate me, play with me, or any of that. So I don't feel the need to submit to New York police. They're useless to me. They're useless. They're very useless to me. So you got also a homeless cop, a homeless service department cop, Department of Homeless Services cop. You supposed to be helping beat down people. You supposed to be helping poor, poverty-stricken people, disabled people. And you turn around and you're texting a 14-year-old girl here in New York. That's the third cop right here in New York. And he texted her, "I would love to see you naked." A 14-year-old girl, man. Remind you, they got all the training in the world. They go through all this training, weeks and weeks and weeks, probably months of training. He had to override all of that and become a predator. I'm telling you the times we living in. Who else is it going to take to do it? If the cops doing it, everybody's doing it. And when I say everybody, I mean every walk of life. Every walk of life is doing it. Every walk of life. If cops are doing it, you can assume there's people riddled throughout every walk of life doing the same thing. I mean, if the cops are doing it, everybody's doing it. And if the government is passing laws, 44 states marrying children, then it's safe to assume everybody's doing something. At least every walk of life you can think about: firemen, teachers, Teachers are really doing it, and I gotta do videos on that. I gotta catch up and do videos on that because teachers specifically are the ones that handle your children the most and the longest. They handle your children from what, about 5 years old to about 18. So about 13 years, they got your children in their care, right? All these teachers throughout all grade school, K through 12, they handling your kids for about 13 years. And you look in their eyes and you think, oh, these are the guardians, these are the angels, these are the ones protecting my children. These are the ones that I trust, and they're the ones that having sex with your children. It's proven time and time again. Teachers are the ones you would not think would do it. Got all these kids in front of them teaching people, teaching children. It's over. You got teachers doing it, and the thing that bugs me the most is they don't say nothing. You don't hear no protests about that, right? But they want to talk about the Catholics. They want to talk about R. Kelly. But you're not talking about the teachers because you're too embarrassed. That's why. You're too embarrassed that you didn't know. You too embarrassed that you trusted them 100%, showing them all respect, walking away with respect, holding your head up, respecting them and everything. And they turn around when you leave and lusting and thinking about your children and getting your children and having sex with your children. They just also caught a security guard in jail, prison, messing with a 15-year-old and I think a 14-year-old. They were all under 18. And she was a white girl. She was 21. This came out, I think, last week. That's fresh. That's just happened. That one of the kids was 14. I think the other one was 15. That's how it was. And the third one was 17. I think that was how it was. But definitely one of them was 14. Definitely. And they come and she got them out of jail. She got them somehow. She helped them escape. And you know what they did. They all were missing. She was getting ganged, raped, or however you want to put it, by these three guys. That was her fantasy. That's the whole reason she got them out. Put two and two together. Why else she get them out? Why else she take interest in them? So it was a white girl, three black dudes, 14, 15, 17. That's pedophilia. The 14-year-old. So that 1-year-old girl is a young pedophile. Y'all didn't protest. That's why I have no trust in you. I don't respect your community. I don't respect y'all at all, because you sit back and say one thing, but you do another. You sit back and you watch who you feel is unpopular, but you don't watch these popular pedophiles. Teachers are pretty popular in the community. I mean, through the grocery stores, the whole community know they're teachers. Not just the parents. Yeah. Same thing with these cops. These cops are popular pedophiles. I'm pretty sure they got their place where they get their coffee, they get their hot dogs. They like donuts. So they going somewhere and getting them Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I mean? And they're somewhere near their precinct. They're popular. These are popular people in the community that people smile at every day and salute every day and respect every day. And come to find out, these two cops, the ones that had that 15-year-old girl in a program, a youth program in the police precinct. If it couldn't get any worse, they act like they was helping the girl and wind up having sex with her. And you saying what? What you saying about what? About these cops? Like I said, I use them. If somebody's crazy, I will call and use them for crazy people or something like that. But, or if somebody in my family would be missing, or someone that I care about be missing or something like that. But other than that, other than crazy people and missing people, I don't deal with them. I feel like they're the worst of hypocrites because you go through so much training. You can't claim that even a pedophile is like you. Because they might say, well, it happens every day. But not with trained people to serve the community. People that are trained to serve the community. You know how dangerous it is. You know how crazy it is. You know how wild it is out here. And here you are doing the complete opposite. Doing what the criminals do. And they didn't even get criminally charged. The NYPD didn't even see the need and the necessity to charge them. That's what you need to look at too. NYPD didn't look to charge them. You would think that they would say, one of our own, we got to make an example. If they were caught and we determined that they were caught, we have to make an example out of them. So no other cops will be doing this. They didn't do that. They basically let the cops slap the cops on the wrist. On the wrist. That's what they did. That's what they did. Because you tell me why they wasn't criminally charged, but they'll go out here and charge someone else for doing the same thing. If you found a man getting a hand job from how old was she, 15? A 15-year-old girl, and you are a cop, they're going to jail. Yeah, they're going to jail. But yet, the NYPD in all their investigations, in all their integrities and honors, and all their noble character traits, they couldn't find themselves to arrest and criminally charge one of their own to make an integrity example for the community. They didn't do that. But it said they determined that they found out they raped the girl. They found that out. So it wasn't like it was a lack of evidence. They didn't know what happened. They determined that the two officers raped the girl. But you go lock somebody up doing the same thing. The government does the same thing. They make laws, but they go lock people up for doing the same thing in nature. Let's take off all the formats of marriage, this child marriage stuff. They're having sex with children. That's what they're doing. If just in case you are a person that don't like to think about this because you're too weak mentally, you're too weak in your heart and soul. That's what the real problem is. You're weak. You can't think about it. I have to show you, because of that that child marriage is all about sex. It ain't about romance. I've been telling you this. It ain't about romance. So my integrity is not on trial here. Just in case you have people that think it is in the American community, my integrity is not on trial. You think that it's not. If anyone has a pass as far as integrity, it's me. It's me. You know why it's me? With intelligent people? Because I revealed that your country got 44 states married children. That's my past right there. Hey, I used my life. If you think I was in a corrupt state or a fallen state, I redeemed myself by telling you what your own government is doing. I redeemed myself from telling you that 40 states, the age of consent is under 18. I redeemed myself from telling you stuff you don't know. 44 states marry children. I redeemed myself from telling you in the Trump administration, July 1st, 2019, they made laws that allowed 20 states to marry any age of child. That's my redemption right there. Because you didn't know it and your bumaclot leaders didn't tell you. Ain't none of them tell you this. So that's my redemption. I mean, I didn't need to be redeemed. I know what I did and didn't do. I know the interpretation of what I did and didn't do. I know the interpretation of everything. I know my life. You don't. However, if you thought I wasn't, and if you thought I was in a fallen state, that's my past right there. Because all your leaders didn't do this. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't do it. Malcolm X didn't tell you. None of them told you that the American community never had the age of consent at 18 in all 50 states in all of their history. They never had that. They never had the age of consent at 18 in all 50 states. Sad, sad, sad story, boy. But now we see who you really are, man. And it's no turning back. We can't go back to the fake America. This is the real America. 40 states marrying children, 44 states with child marriage, that's the real America.